Hi everyone, I'm Heather Poduska, star maker to entrepreneurs who want to unlock their potential and command any stage. Welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a more abundant life and business. You are in for high value content coming to you from industry leaders who are growing their business, making an impact, and rocking their brands. Welcome to the show. Here we go. Hi everyone, I'm Heather Poduska, founder of the Brand Star Academy, where I teach entrepreneurs how to be powerful, profitable speakers and create their own celebrity personal brands. Welcome to this episode of Thrive, Beyond the Bestseller with my special guest, Tamara Patzer. This is part 2. Last week we did part 1 with Tami because she had so much great information. We actually did a part 2 to keep the party rolling. Tami is an executive producer. She is a book publisher. She is an expert on getting best-selling books published. She is also a national speaker and a television personality. She's the owner of Blue Ocean Authority, where she helps entrepreneurs, professionals, and leaders get their message out in a bigger way. And I was so excited to have her on the show and have her back this week for the second part of the episode that we just kept rolling because she had so much great information. And we were talking about what it means to have a best-selling book. And I was talking about the fact that on the show that week, I had interviewed 5 different people and 5 of them were authors. So we talked about how important it is to have a book, what you need to do in order to get those opportunities when opportunity knocks, what you need to have in place, what you need to do, how you need to respond in order to land the things that most people don't get to take advantage of. We also talked about the importance of your story and how important it is to be able to tell your story when you're doing public speaking, whether that is on a show like Thrive, whether you are speaking on a stage to, Harvard or NASDAQ or wherever, or even if you're just at your local community chamber of commerce, because having a story is that thing that really engages your audience. And Tami told us her story of how she became a publisher and her journey along the way and what that really deep personal story was of hers that set her on this path. And, listening to her story, it makes sense about her career now, why she's on this huge trajectory. And I was so happy to have her for the second part of the show because we really learned more about her and more expertise. So if you're somebody who's thinking about writing a book, if you're somebody who's written a book and it's not producing the income that you thought it would produce, you should really watch this episode because Tami is an expert on taking books not just to bestseller status, but beyond the bestseller campaign, because that is where all of the money is generated. So you're not going to want to miss out on this. Also, if you would like to know how to become a star in your industry, if you'd like to know how to position yourself as a leader so that you can get seen as the leader, command higher fees, be ready for your media opportunities, know how to speak and be articulate and communicate your value so that the audience that you are trying to communicate with sees and appreciates your value and is willing to pay your fees, I would love to talk to you. You can check out my private coaching programs by going to my website, heatherpoduska.com, and clicking on the consulting tab. Or you can hit me up by please don't hit me. You can hit me up at my email address at heather@clearvoicebranding.com. Okay, I hope you enjoy this episode of Thrive. Hi, I'm Heather Poduska, star maker to entrepreneurs who want to become powerful, profitable speakers. Welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a more abundant life and business. You're in for high-value content coming to you from industry leaders who are growing their business, making an impact, and rocking their brands. Today, I have a very special friend with me, Tamara Patzer. Tamara Patzer is an executive producer, publisher, and the owner of Blue Ocean Authority, where she helps women entrepreneurs and professionals get their message out on a major scale by helping them become best-selling authors, making them hosts of their own radio shows, and by showing them how to get booked and leverage big media appearances on outlets such as ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, and the CW. Tami currently has over 64 authors who've written through her system to become bestsellers. And Tami herself is a multi-time bestseller with her most recent book series, Women Innovators. And she's currently doing a national TV appearance tour, traveling from Florida to California, educating audiences about social media. And recently, Tami won the Author Marketing Award from the Harvard Business Expert Forum. What a powerhouse. I could not be more excited to have Tamara Patzer in the house.
Oh, thank you so much, Heather.
Thanks for being here. Beyond the bestseller,
Yes.
What's Next?
Yes.
And you also help people, part of the What's Next is getting people in places like this, right?
Yes.
Right? So that, because I always say you don't get paid to sing in the shower unless you're really comfortable singing naked in front of a lot of people.
Right.
So,
well, here's a really good example. So beyond the bestseller, what's next? And this is all about growing your business to become a 7-figure business. How do you do it? I already told you it's not about selling a bunch of books. Right. It's about using the book as a tool for leverage. So think about it. If I'm a best-selling author, guess what? I'm newsworthy.
Right.
And as a newsworthy person, that means that people with talk shows like Thrive will be interested in hearing what I have to say.
That's right.
ABC, NBC, CBS, all of those news programs that you watch every morning while you're eating your breakfast and sipping your coffee and watching the weather report. Have you ever noticed that they interview people? Who are they interviewing? Normally, authors.
Well, I have to say, I've done 5 shows in the past 24 hours, and every one of my guests had a book.
Yes, because they're smart and they understand that when you approach them, you know what they did that makes them superstar standouts?
What's that?
They said yes.
Yes.
They, even though being on TV, being on the radio, being in the newspaper, being interviewed, a lot of people are afraid. There is a big fear.
Yeah.
This is public speaking. Being in front of a camera, oh my God, there's so much, it's like, oh my God, you're in the headlights. But those 5 people that you have interviewed in the past 24 hours, they grabbed the opportunity and they said yes.
Yes, and there was one person that was just giving someone else a ride to the studio. They were not scheduled to speak. And I said, do you have a book? You want to go? Are you ready? And they said, yeah, I wasn't planning on it, but let's go. I mean, they were a very accomplished person and I wanted to have them, but they said yes in the moment. They weren't expecting to be interviewed.
That is a super, super tip that if you want opportunity to knock for you, you have to be there ready to take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
And go, yes, I'm willing. There were people at the Harvard Faculty Club this weekend who almost didn't go.
Yes.
And we were at an event where they had video cameras, they had audio, they had everything, photographers. It was just a really super event. And there were people who almost missed the opportunity of a lifetime to be connected to an event at Harvard Faculty Club. I know sometimes people here in Boston, you might go, oh, it's just Harvard. It's just MIT. But to the rest of the world, you're talking about the top Ivy League school in the world.
Yeah.
And it's very prestigious. And it was funny because I was thinking about Facebook. I talk about Facebook all the time on television, and I actually was like, oh my God, this is where it started.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually here where something I talk about all the time started. So it was kind of a cool, just a vibration or a feeling for that. But it's really important that people take advantage and leverage speaking opportunities. If you get the chance, get out and speak, even if it is at your local Chamber of Commerce, at the Rotary Club. I used to go literally to mobile home parks. I'm from Florida. I was the managing editor for the Northport Sun, which it's a retirement community, and I used to go to the manufactured housing communities where a lot of people lived, to their clubhouse, and I would talk about the newspaper. And I'll never forget one time going to this program, this woman came up and she had this manila file folder, and she was so excited to see. She goes, I just am so happy to meet you. And then she opened the folder. In it were all of my columns that I had written. And she said, I just love reading your column and about how you tell us about our community, because I really prided myself in always thinking about my people, my readers. And so I would write about why it was important to be part of the community. And I had an ongoing story about this duck that lived in my pond in the backyard and how she kept trying to hatch a nest of eggs. Well, she was all by herself. I don't think the eggs were fertile. So the duck would keep laying these eggs, and lo and behold, the raccoons would steal them. So she never became a mother, you know, but she'd lay these big clutches of eggs, and she never had a family. So I would write about, you know, this poor duck. It was Ms. Waddles who lived in my backyard.
So we have Mr. Wiggles and Ms. Waddles.
I like those alliterations of sounds. But again, that's just a perfect example of, I told a few little stories. Everybody has these stories that they can share to teach lessons. And in business, think about, you know, I had the entrepreneurial story. Ms. Waddles never gave up, you know. And I had another story that I wrote about, and it was about how my ex-husband was kind of a MacGyver when it came to lawnmowers. So he put this lawnmower together, and he goes, it's easy. All you have to do is attach this wire to this wire and that wire here and tape this here, and then you push this button and turn this key and the lawnmower will start. I mean, it was just this crazy configuration to make this old lawnmower work, and I never could do it. But that was something I'd write about, you know, how the things that people do to save money, you know, and they wire things together. But telling stories is like the key to making the 7 figures in your business. You would never think that coming up with stories and then helping other people relate to you would be what would make you money. But that really is what makes you money. And some of the stories you might have to tell are things that you would never tell. But if you can just come up with one little thing that you maybe feel uncomfortable with, you don't have to tell stories that are really, really uncomfortable. But like my entrepreneur story about the night crawlers, that's kind of a positive one. At Harvard, I actually told the story of my mother, and I'll share it with you now just to show you the difference of a really happy story and one that is inspirational. And that story is that when I was 9 years old, I took my mother's manuscript to the post office. And the postmaster would look over the counter and he'd say, well, how much do you want to insure it for, little lady? And I'd look up at him and his big, wide 9-year-old eyes, and I'd say, $1 million. It's going to change our lives. It's my mommy's novel. And I believed so much that that book was going to get us out of this small town, a lumber town in Oregon. And he'd give me the receipt, and I'd go back home. And I kept taking those manuscripts to the post office year after year after year. And finally, in 1985, my mom got an agent, and they were going to publish her novel. And then Mom died. And that is an example of a moment in time, you know, that shows why I became the person I am today. I was entrusted with that book to get it to the New York agent, to get it to the New York publisher. My mom gave me that, and I took it to the post office with that, responsibility. And think about that. I carry that responsibility with every author I help today, that they're trusting me just like my mom did. But the big difference is, well, my mom died without ever becoming a best-selling author because of the times. Today, I get to help people become best-selling authors and take it to the next level and help them grow their business. And that's really exciting. And last November, I woke up, and this is another example of how the universe helps you become whoever it is you're meant to be. I really feel that I'm the messenger's messenger, and that I have this role. I woke up and I've been thinking about doing a radio show called Women Innovators. And I bought the name in June of 2016, didn't do anything with it. But one day in November, this was after the election, and I remember women were just feeling kind of sad and not listened to and disempowered, and there were a lot of marches going on. And one Saturday I woke up and I wrote a Facebook post. I'm going to write a book called Women Innovators, Leaders, Makers, and Givers. Do you want to be in it? Send it out. And it said PM me, which means send me a private message. Boom! People started to say yes, yes, yes. By the end of that weekend, I had sold not one book, not two books, not three books, not four, not five, not six, not 8 books.
Wow.
64 authors. And I was like, oh my God, women innovators, leaders, makers, and givers, and you are one of them.
I am one of them. I had the opportunity
And
knocked, and I said, hello, come on in.
And I was just overwhelmed. And actually, book number 8 is just coming out. And I actually have a new book series coming out called Self-Made Woman, The Feminine Journey to Success. Guess who helped me with the feminine journey to success? Heather Patzer. But what happened is, since that was November, and when we're doing this recording, it's about 6-7 months later, and I think about that now I have 64 international best-selling authors.
Crazy.
I've helped them take it beyond the bestseller. I train people, how to make their author profiles. I give them graphics. We write press releases. We do a full social media marketing campaign. And I try to teach these women, how do you leverage this? Yeah. How do you take it beyond the bestseller? And I've had people report back that they have new clients as a result of the book, that they're doing speaking gigs, that they're doing book signings, that a lot of really positive things have happened from that. So that's the power of a book. And that's just having a chapter.
Well, it's
in
so
a book.
amazing. I mean, and that just brings it back to story. And I think it's because people value connection.
Yes.
It's all about connection. And that's what you do so beautifully. You're a bridge for people's stories to turn that into visibility and connection and then profit. And it's such a beautiful full circle thing. And I love that we have a connection.
Yes.
And that it goes like this. And because everybody needs different pieces of the puzzle to bring it all together. So I really appreciate that you are continuing to take that book and send it out and take that book. Your mother would be very proud of you, I'm sure.
I hope so, because I think about her, and my daughter did not want me to share that story because she goes, it sounds so negative. I said, no, my mom worked so hard year after year. I used to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to the tap, 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 tap of the typewriter. And that was my mom. She used to dream Her characters would act out in her dreams, and she'd get up in the middle of the night because that was all the time she had. She was a mom with 4 kids.
Yeah.
And she would write her books, and of course she had to rewrite it and submit it and rewrite it and wait, because it wasn't instant like it is today.
Yeah.
And like I said, she worked so hard, and she was nearly there. And then, you know, life happened. She passed away. But to me, it's really, her legacy was that she left behind these manuscripts. She had poetry. Every single one of us, of her 4 children, all write. We all do poetry. We all value literature and education. Her legacy was so huge, and I have managed to publish a few of her things, but I still need to publish more. But she really instilled this sense in me that I could help other people, and it really is a trust issue when someone trusts you with their stories.
Yeah. And you are amazing at it, and you've helped so many authors already. And I know that you're going to be birthing books with other people to change the world. I know that you have a huge heart and huge expertise. So I really want to honor you for doing that and acknowledge all the work that you've done to bring important information to the world and fulfilling your mission. I really want to acknowledge you. And I want to thank you for coming today. And one last question, Tami. What does it mean to you to thrive?
I knew you were going to ask that question. What does it mean to me to thrive? I think it means that living your purpose and appreciating all of the people who come to you that enable you to learn not only about the world but about yourself, so that you can look at each day with gratitude and really feel that you have that purpose. And like I said, for me, it's really become clear in the past year that my big role is to be the messenger's messenger and to help people go beyond the bestseller to the what's next, to the next level, and help people just keep going higher and higher and higher.
Well, that is a perfect place to end. What's next? I can't wait to see what you do next. And I thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you, Heather. And more than anything, thank you for being my friend.
Mwah. Love you.
Thank you.
And thank you as well. And as always, until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, it's Heather again. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Thrive. Every week we try to bring you people and information to help you change your life for the better, to grow your business, to expand your thinking, and to open your heart. If you did enjoy this content, I would so appreciate it if you would go to iTunes and review us. Let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. And if you found this information helpful or useful in any way, please share it on out. Let your friends and family know about Thrive. And finally, if you'd like to know more about me, you can visit me at heatherpodostka.com. Until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes.